Good afternoon and welcome to All for United WFC. Back for the Everton halftime analysis. I'm back with John and Anthony. We'll get straight into it, guys. Anthony, what did you make of that first half?
First 10, 15 minutes, we were really good. We came out with a purpose. We were creating chances. Tooney could have quite easily had a hat-trick on another day if the shots were a bit better. Even press has been good. But then after about 15 minutes, we let Everton into the game. Our passing was a bit off when it was. You'd think it would just be a simple pass to one of our players, and we were losing it needlessly. Especially and doing stuff at the back, mucking around with it at the back when we don't need to. I think we can say we're very fortunate to be 1-0 up at halftime. In my opinion, Everton could have quite easily have scored, but luckily they haven't. So you have to take the 1-0 as a good point, and hopefully we can get back to how we were first 10, 15 minutes. But I think Press and Tooney are, like Vic says, they're looking really good today. So hopefully we can have more of that in the second half. But I'd like to see Jane Ross come off personally. I don't think she's been given a chance, but I don't really think she's done anything. I don't think she's quick enough either. That's the problem.
Who would you bring on for them?
Well, it's a difficult one. It isn't. You've got options. You could bring Leah on and put Press in the middle and interchange them, or Hansen, or you could bring Siggy on. So any one of them three you could bring on, which I personally think would be better.
Yeah. John, would you say it's a typical sort of end of season final game performance? I mean, like Anthony said, for the first 10, 15 minutes, we looked really good. The link-up plays were good. And then sort of after that, about 20, 25 minutes, it just seemed to die off, didn't it? And it became a bit of a midfield bog. And then like Anthony said, there was maybe a couple of lapses at the back and they had a couple of chances at goal. And I think in particular that their left-hand side has caused us a couple of issues with the Pattinson and Ems link-up. But sort of what were your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the end of season thing. I think it's just Man United at the moment, isn't it? Doing it in spells. So I agree with Anthony. The first 15 minutes was really intense. We looked good. We looked like we were dominating the ball quite a lot. It looked like we was trying to find Press out wide, which was working, and she was making some good runs in them first couple of runs that she made. She could have scored off them. 2-0 I thought was great in those first 15, 20 minutes, all over the pitch as we predicted before the game started. But then it just kind of seemed to fizzle away a little bit. We was winning the midfield battle for quite a while, and then all of a sudden they had about 15-minute spell where they was kind of winning it and putting in some dangerous crosses. And you mentioned left-hand side, but I think their right-hand side was putting some crosses in, which kind of caused us a little bit of trouble. We dealt with them, but it's still a bit shaky. And then obviously we came into it a little bit more towards the end of the half, but not really created anything. So the first 15 minutes I thought was good, but then we just kind of slacked off a little bit. But obviously we are still against a good team. Let's not forget, Everton, okay, they are about 12 points away, but they are like the next team down. So I don't think we're going to dominate the game for like the full 90 minutes. You mentioned Jane Ross, Anthony. I could see a couple of changes. Yeah, absolutely. I think the one that you mentioned, I think Press could quite easily go up top and Galton out left. But I think if there's going to be a substitution at half time, maybe it will be like Hansen or Jess first, with maybe a midfielder coming on. A midfielder coming off and Tooney dropping into the midfield maybe. But look, I don't think it was a great performance, but we're still winning 1-0 against a team that's not too bad. I guess I would have just liked to have seen a bit more dominance throughout the whole half.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like you say, it sort of reminded me of last weekend's performance, but against better opposition. I think last week was very scrappy and sort of dogging. And we did say, didn't we? We talked about previously about Everton may sort of, look to sit in an 11 and just maybe hit us on the counter and sort of, pack out the midfield. But I think for me, again, credit to I think Press and Tooney, again, probably are better two players for me. You know, Jackie's looked lively as well in the middle, but I think, like Vic's touched on earlier about their link-up, you know, I think what a ball straight across from Press, and then Tooney, I mean, can you call it a volley? Probably more a half volley, really, but a good first-time finish nonetheless in the bottom corner. And something I know we talked about, obviously, pre-match, hadn't we? You know, and I said, didn't I, she'd be hungry for one of them goals to be, and that takes 10 for the season. So, you know, I think, like you both said, I think if we can get, I'd probably do Siggy for Ross personally, just to see Leah for a little bit. Straight swap there, let Jess run at them, and then to introduce Leah after that. But this was interesting here as well. Stanny and Zellum too similar. I think it's one of those things, isn't it, where it's difficult because we lack on options in the centre of midfield at the minute. Obviously, with no Hayley Ladd, and there's not massively too many options on the bench without playing people out of position. I know you said, John, about maybe dropping Tooney back into there, which could be an option. But yeah, I think again we have waited for this link. I've noticed for me personally, last few games now, there's been a really good link up between Tooney and Press, you know, and it's been evident probably for at least that Tottenham game when we won 4-1, possibly even the Burnley as well. But I think since then, Tottenham was the first time I noticed it. Little patterns of play, even maybe the Old Trafford game at West Ham, against West Ham, sorry. There's little bits. But I think, you know, if we grind out a win, it's 1-0, it's 1-0, and then look to push on. But obviously, we talked about changes. I'm just going to briefly as well round up at half-time. So there's not too much to talk to. Obviously, we're 1-0 up. Chelsea are now 2 up against Reading, so if that stays as it is, that will win Chelsea the league. Man City missed a penalty, that's still goalless. Birmingham and Tottenham's goalless. Surprisingly, Aston Villa away at Arsenal is goalless. And Brighton are 1-0 up against Bristol. So I'll sort of come to you on those, Anthony. Are you maybe surprised at possibly the Villa result and anything else? Maybe West Ham as well, holding Man City?
Yeah, especially with City. Obviously, Chelsea are doing their job. So, unfortunately for City, they even if they do win, which I expect they will do in the second half, they still can't finish as champions. But we talk about it now, but City and Arsenal, they're very much like, we think, oh, that's good if they can hold it on for another half, and then. And then you find out, and then about after an hour, all of a sudden they're 2 or 3-0 up. I'm not sure what team Arsenal have put out. Maybe they've given some of their players that haven't had much of an appearance, possibly knowing that third is safe. Also, with City, it wasn't a Panenka, was it?
Keeper saved it, but Arsenal's team is pretty much full strength. I think there's not much that they could really, maybe possibly Van der Donk. I don't know if she normally starts. But like I say, Arsenal's pretty much full strength. It's just Villa sitting down. No, keeper saved it, so it wasn't actually.
I fully expect Villa and Arsenal and City to do what they do in the second half. There's been a few times where you get to half time thinking, oh yeah, if it can stay that way, and then one goal. It's like with United against like teams like Villa. Once the first goal goes in, normally 2 and 3 come shortly after, and that's what will happen. I think in the second half for them teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. We always get there, and then like you say, you have a look. Next minute, it's about 4-0. Go on, John.
Yeah, I was going to say that's like you talk about the magic of the FA Cup, but it's also the magic of the last game of the season. Everything goes out the window. I mean, these 3 clubs down there are fighting for their lives, and it doesn't matter who you're against. You know, there's just always something special because you just got to throw everything. It's the last game of the season for those now, and it's the last roll of the dice, isn't it? So I just think form goes out the window. The whole league goes out the window. You just need to get something from that game. And, you know, credit to any team who eventually, you know, stays up, because it's not going to be easy on the last game of the season. But yeah, as for City and Chelsea, you know, it looks like it's Chelsea's title now. I think Vic's mentioned it in the comments that City knew it was over with the draw from the other week. And we just need to look at the goals scored that they've scored compared to us, the quantity of goals. And that's where we need to obviously pick up next season, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think just before we wrap up, because I know they'll be coming back out soon, are we confident of more goals than in the second half, or do we think it's going to be more of the same? I'll start with you, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm still going to keep my 2-1 prediction. We know we've got quality and we can create more chances and score. But then we also know that we can have lapses of concentration at the back. Mary came for a corner, didn't she, first half, which she totally missed. So I'm confident we'll win still. I'm still going to keep my 2-1 prediction.
Yeah,
I'm still I'm going to still say 3-1 because I still can see press scoring. I can still see a substitute coming on against some tired legs and getting a goal, and I could also see us conceding as well. So probably I'm still going to say 3-1.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it does look like, from what I can see, that they're going through team and subs for coming out second half. So that's it from us. John, you're back tomorrow, aren't you, for match reaction show? We'll be in today's game. Schedule will be up tonight as well, as always, and we'll also link all the shows throughout the week as well for you to catch up on. So thanks for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow evening. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.